and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. This is episode 49, and I want to say hi to all of you that are coming back again to watch yet another episode, and I want to say hello and welcome to all of my new viewers out there. If you're new, hi and welcome, and I hope you have a good time while you stay. So I'm Leslie. I am known as Pixie Knits. It's usually Pixeknits, just about everywhere. And if you want to know for sure how to get in touch with me, check out the show notes, because that is where I have links to join our Ravelry group and to get in touch with me on Plurk and Twitter. And then other neat stuff like, the show notes, obviously really important. So links to the vendors and my projects that I talk about and the patterns that I talk about, and just all sorts of goodies. So last week I didn't record. Last week was an anomaly. I pride myself and I look forward to recording each week. And last week, it was not happening. I had to take a mental health day for me, and I did, and I feel so much better. Notwithstanding the snow that didn't happen on Friday last week, that made me very, 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 very sad. It's winter. I want snow. I grew up in Florida. I love the cold, and I want to see snow. I was in my 20s. I was stationed in Korea. No, I guess my daughter was 6 months old when I first saw snow. So I was 20. So I was in my 20s. I wanted to snow. I'm just saying. All right. So I mentioned our Ravelry group, and you guys are awesome. I had a lot of folks join in the last 2 weeks, and folks were posting stuff in the message boards and everything like that. So really awesome. And I would like to say hello to Ting Ting, Sun Daisy 920, Angie. I want to say Tena, T-E-N-A. So Tena, hello. Peachy 1751, Peg. Natalie Ford, that's Natalie. Walking Jane 81, Jen, and Charming Lucci. I'm going to say it's Charming Lucci, Kelly. So everyone, welcome to the group. Yay! Fun times. I guess you can only really see me from like the chin up. So my hands are down below and they're going, hey! Yeah, it doesn't work if you can't see it. Alright, sorry. Birthdays. I have to say I have some belated birthdays to wish as well, since I did not record last week. So I'm sorry I didn't get to pass these along. So we have Jessie Knits, and that is Jessica. Flancers, that's Jackie. Busy Nurse, Cassandra. Chanala, Hannah. Lollipop Yarn, Joan, and Silly Frou, Wendy. So happy birthday to you. All right. I'm feeling a little punchy tonight, can't you tell? So some shout outs and announcements. All right, so the Fredericksburg Podcasters Sit and Knit will take place on Thursday. It may just be me. Weather, I don't know. Weather tomorrow night is going to be a little iffy. But if you're in the area and you want to stop by, I'll be at the Barnes & Noble. I know, I'm such a big draw, right? I'll be at the Barnes & Noble in Central Park in Fredericksburg, Virginia from 6:30 to 8. Come on by. I think we have a few ladies from the Guild, or maybe one, I don't know, from the Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild stopping by. Courtney Stitches Please from the Fearless Knitter podcast, she may be there, but I'm not 100%, so if she can make it, yay, hey. All right. And just another quick announcement shout out for this week. All right, everybody who signed up for and made it into the Armed Forces Fiber Fanatics Charity Sock Yarn Club, everything is here. I have the bags for you guys that got the bag option. I have all of the yarn. I even have the everything to mail it out. So the envelopes and the address labels, everything is here. I'm going to start printing and address labels and start to stuff envelopes tomorrow. So everything is on schedule and on track for being out on Saturday. Those of you who live in Virginia or Maryland, you may actually have your stuff by Monday. There's usually a 24-hour policy on getting stuff in the local area here to me. They try to, so I'm just saying by Monday. I know I have some folks in Baltimore, some folks in McLean, some folks in Chester. You know who you are, guys. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, next week, I will show the yarn for everybody else, just so y'all can see it. Joan from Lollipop Yarn, who did this month's batch of yarn, she sent me the picture of the yarn, like the official picture that she takes, and it turned out just as good as the yarn did. It was so cute. I was like, yay. And I got a sneak peek at the February, which is the marine colorway. Fiber Nymph is doing the marine fiber, the marine colorway for February, and she sent me some sneak peek pictures this week, and it is amazing. It was really awesome. Please excuse my whiny cat. She is back there someplace. Okay. So that's all for shout outs and announcements. Now, on to a newer segment. This isn't going to be regular. Once I get through some of these, I probably won't do it again for a while until I find something else that's helpful. And what I'm talking about are the Android apps that I use in facilitating my knitting obsession. It's no longer a hobby, it is an obsession. Hello, my name is Leslie, and I have a problem. Oh, I do. And it's a good one. All right, so last time I recorded, I introduced the, which app did, the PDF reader that I use to keep track of my knitting notes on my tablet, which is an Asus, so you can see here. So my Christmas present, yay. And that's what I'm using to read my show notes on. And I know a lot of the podcasters out there, they talk a lot about the apps that they use on their iPads or their iPhones. So I wanted to give a little love out there for the Android users out there. I know I'm not the only one. And I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people did. They messaged me and told me, please keep it up. That's great. I'm always looking for new apps. So this one that I'm going to introduce this week creates PDFs. And you might ask, well, why do I need that if my stuff is electronic already and I can download it? It's because not everything in your library is electronic. So the app this week is called Cam Scanner, and that's CAMSCANNER. Now there are two versions on the Google Play Marketplace. One is for your phone and one is for a tablet. The HD version is for your tablet. That lets you use the bigger screen and everything. And I'll tell you, if you've got the camera version, it won't work on the tablet. It crashes every time I do it. But the phone version on my phone works just as well. So I downloaded the free HD version for my tablet tonight, and I'm going to give that a run through. But I do use the Cam Scanner for the phone because I have a Galaxy S2 phone, and I take all my pictures with the phone. I love the camera on that. So what I do, and what this allows you to do, is if you have a pattern in a book or on a piece of paper, you know, you go to your local yarn store and you find a pattern there that you really fall in love with, but it's a paper copy, and you've got to get the plastic document protectors and put them in your binder and keep track of it that way, and then add it to your library. This is so easy, especially if, you know, you are electronic and you want to take notes using on a PDF format. What you do is you just start up the app, and from the app it accesses your camera function, and you just take pictures of the page. You don't have to get really up close. What happens is, through mathematical algorithms, it will allow you to adjust how the page frames out the text. It enhances the background and really makes the text pop. You can take individual pictures of charts. You can take pictures of like a whole chart, and then different sections of the chart, and you can crop out what you need and what you want. And then what I find really handy is sometimes when I'm working with a pattern, the chart is on one page, but the key for that chart is on another page. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really do me any good. This will allow you to create the PDF where you can put them kind of like close to each other, so they're handy. A little bit easier than if you were, you know, having to flip through several pages if you print it out, because you can always print it out too after you're done. So it gives you the versatility of being able to print, so you can have a portable copy. If you don't like the electronic version, if you don't like using a PDF annotator to keep track of your knitting notes while you're doing your stuff, you can print these out and then make, you know, pencil and pen notes, highlight things and everything. So in the show notes, I have links to Cam Scanner for the phone and for the HD version to the Google Play Store. Now, Amazon does have the phone version. Now, there is a free edition and a paid edition, and I have the paid edition for my phone, and what that allows you to do is take more pictures and create more PDFs. Although I don't think I've ever reached the limit for a particular pattern that it would really be needed. I don't know if there's certain like connectivity things, like if you want to connect and send the pattern to yourself by email or something. If you need, you'd have to read and see if the paid version is right for you, and that is $4.99 for the license key. So that is my Android app of the week, is Cam Scanner. So that kind of goes along with the PDF reader, Easy PDF Reader. You've got Cam Scanner to actually create PDFs from non-electronic, basically print, you know, print form. So neat. Oh goodness, my pussycat is just so grouchy. Okay, so on to the knitting game. This is why everybody's here, I tell you. You guys have blown me away. I started off with week 1, I think maybe there was 80 votes. And this was week 4, something like almost 300 plus notes. Please excuse me, I'm going to go and figure out what's wrong with my pussycat. Hold on. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, so we're announcing the results from week 4 this week. So the 2 lowest voting patterns this week were the Heartbreak and the Vittoria. So the next pattern I'm going to place in the queue lineup for this round of the knitting game is going to be the Heartbreak. Now, the reason why I chose the Heartbreak to go next is because the Vittorio just looked different. I haven't knit anything like that. The construction seems a little bit different, and I wanted to try something new. The Heartbreak looks kind of similar to the Color Affection, and so that's why I chose it to be next to lead the knitting game. So for week 5, that leaves you guys with the For Good hat, the Vittorio, the Euphrosyne, the Striped Study Shawl, and the Water Street cardigan. So you guys have about a week to vote. You guys have a week to vote. I don't know what day that is. The 30th, I think. So the 30th, I'll give you guys to the 30th. Again, you can vote as often as you want for as many different patterns as you want. If you want to see me knit it and you want to see it get done, and hear what I have to say about it, vote as many times as you can. So some updates from prior knitting games. I still haven't done anything with the Easy 100th Anniversary Camping Half Circle Shawl. I'm in the 3rd section. I'm in the 3rd of 3 sections, so I'm close. I just have to cake up the yarn and actually get working on it again. And I'm sure that'll happen once some of these other smaller projects I've been dabbling in are off the needles. So the Sensual Knits knitting game. Now, I haven't talked about this one in probably about 6 months, and there's a reason why. I was not happy with it. Not that I wasn't happy with the yarn or the pattern or anything specifically. It just wasn't working out. I knew my gauge was off. And here's a lesson. I did gauge swatches. I did several of them in several different needle sizes, and I wasn't on with any of them, but I picked the one I thought I was the closest with. I picked the wrong way. I should have picked down instead of up, because when I was knitting it up, those minute little differences, those half little stitches here and there, quarter little stitches here and there, really added up, especially for a big girl like me and the number of stitches I have to cast on for a sweater for someone my size. So I frogged it. So I know a lot of people were like, what? No, yes, I frogged it. So I used about 4 of the skeins. I was almost halfway through the yarn I bought. So this is the sweater. So I recaked everything. I pulled it all out. And I'm going to start over again. So the yarn is ready to go. What am I waiting on? For my size 7 needles to be free. And they will be fairly soon. So for the exotic draped ruffle scarf, I am in the process of looking for suitable yarn replacements. So it uses a DK weight yarn. It's either DK or worsted weight yarn, so something, probably a light worsted DK, and its gauge is not going to be important. It's just a thicker yarn you're looking for. But some of it has, the whole point is to, one has like a fuzzy glow to it because it's got the mohair, and another one has some sheen to it because it's got silk, and then the mohair yarn has sparkles, so sequins and glass beads in it. So if I can find 2 yarns, so the silky yarn can have the beads, and then there's the mohair, or maybe something with an alpaca, something that's got a little halo to it, and then sparkle and is a thicker sized yarn. So I'm yarn shopping. Alright, so really quick, I'm going to go through some of these works in progresses that I have. I have a lot. So I have the Bags of Shame in front of me. And we'll start off with the Vancouver Fog fingerless mitts. One of the reasons why I'm later recording is because I wanted to bind off. So I did bind off, and I actually, this end is woven in. I just haven't clipped it yet. So I have woven in end here at the top. The only thing I have left to do is to pick up the stitches here on the thumb gusset and do the thumb, and that's only, I think it's like 8 rounds of 1x1 ribbing. So I'm 8 rounds of like 12 stitches away from being done. My hope is to have this done tonight so I can wear it tomorrow. And that was knit on my ChiaoGoo red lace interchangeables, and it's a US size 7. And these are the needles, and I'm using a long cable because I love how stiff the ChiaoGoo cables are, except when you're magic looping, because they're so stiff, it tends to pull the edges apart. So I like the really long cable so you can have it really close together in the middle. So, but my ChiaoGoo size 7 needles, that's what I need for the Sayuri sweater. Alright, so almost done. That's more than a half object done. That's like 7/8 of a project done. Alright, so Devil in a Blue Dress socks. I finished the first one as far as binding off and putting in the afterthought heel and everything, so that one was done. Last time you couldn't see the color. I know it was a disaster, the recording, so hopefully here you can see a little bit better the blue, and then the pink heel right there. So for the second sock, I have cast it on, and I have gotten to the point where I did place the afterthought heel. Apparently I'm in the middle of a round. I don't know how that happened, but I am. So, okay. This one will be probably, this is my like out and about knitting. So when I'm standing in line someplace, that's what I'll be knitting on for the most part. This has been kind of taking up the Vancouver Fog. I've been sort of monogamous with that one. This is my out and about knitting, and I've used that a little bit. The other project that I've really been chugging along on is my Aurora socks. Oh, sorry. Let me go back, backtrack. Devil in a Blue Dress socks, Lollipop yarns, Devil in a Blue Dress yarn, on size 1.5 US Knit Picks fixed circular needles. Alright, so moving on to the Aurora socks, which I'm knitting in the Sunset Stitches. This is the Sunset sock, and it is black, green, and kind of aqua. Very subtle difference between the blue aqua and the like minty green. You can see it when you're looking at the sock if you're looking up close, so I don't know how well the light will pick that up. So with this one, I decided instead of doing the afterthought heel, I would do a gusset and a heel flap, and this is toe up. And I'm also trying to pseudo design sort of a pattern for the top of the leg for the cuff. And so I won't show you too much of that. You can't really see it anyway. But I used Wendy Johnson. She's got a different style of gusset where you increase on the heel. So not on the sides, but from the middle of the heel out. So I decided I'd give that a shot. And I really liked how the gusset, I didn't have to pick up any stitches. It was just a matter of wrapping stitches and increasing and decreasing as you knit. And it worked out. So I have a heel in that sock. And I'm knitting these on size US 1.5 ChiaoGoo red lace, but 16-inch fixed circulars, and I'm doing it on 2 at a time. I wanted to see how that worked. So that is my Aurora socks. Then the last thing I've been knitting on is my Downton Abbey knit along from Jimmy Bean Wool. And I am through the first clue, almost all the way through the second clue. I finished the eyelet part here. So the eyelets are done. So the next part of the clue 2 that I have to get to is the thumb gusset. And then I have to do clue 3, which I haven't even looked at yet. So I'm sort of behind, but I haven't watched week 3's episode yet either. So I should be good there. Now these I'm knitting on Knit Picks size 3 US. And I'm using the Lorna's Laces Sport Mate in the Christmas at Downton colorway. So yay, that is going very well. So I have no finished objects, and I don't have any stash expansions this week for yarn. So on to spinning. I have been spinning, I took such a long time off from spinning. So what do I have? Well, right now on the bobbin, this is Greenwood Fiberworks Merino, 100% Merino, and it's the Blueberry Smoothie colorway. And I don't know where they get blueberry from, because I love to see, it's like this green here at the bottom that transitions into this greenish purple type color right here. But then you get this shot of hot pink. Oh, I love it. I love it. This I'm definitely going to Navajo apply because I don't want it to barber pole at all. I want to keep those colors like blocked and all together. I think it's great. So I'm spinning that pretty thin. It's not too bad. Once I apply it, once I Navajo apply it, it'll probably be a DK weight. Maybe, yeah, probably a DK weight. So that is on the bobbin. Alright, so in a hank, now this is kind of a disaster. It hasn't been washed or thwacked yet, but this is Unwind Yarn Company. It is 100% Polworth, and it is the Aurora Borealis colorway. And it is so overplied, it is crazy. But the reason for that is, and I did it on purpose, because it is going to be, see, it won't even unfurl. And you can see how it kinks up like that. I wanted to use, let me grab them. So I'm going to knit the For Good hat. Obviously, it's in the knitting game. Well, it calls for buttons, excuse the rattling. So at my local yarn shop, I have had my eye on these buttons forever. I love them. So I bought them because I have the For Good hat and I know I'm going to knit it. So I wanted to use these buttons with this yarn. Oh my God, doesn't that just, it's awesome. The only problem is when I plied this up as a 3-ply, I thought I had spun it thin enough where I would get maybe a fingering weight. And then I was gonna do the 3-ply in the Navajo ply, then I was going to wind it into a center pull ball and then do a 2-ply with a 3-ply. And then I was hopefully going to get out of that the worsted weight and have enough yardage to do the For Good hat. Well, as it is, I only have something like 274 yards of the 3-ply. So it's already there, and it's a Polworth, so I will lose yardage and it will puff up even thicker once I wash it. So I'm thinking what I might do is pair this with a black, just a jet black commercial yarn from somewhere, and still knit the hat out of this, somehow finagle it, maybe some color work magic. Like I did with the glass hoot hat with the band in one color and the pom-pom in the one color, and then the middle was my hand spun. So, alright, well, that was my finished yarn. So, it's not quite done yet, I guess. So, the last thing I have is I do have a bit of a stash expansion for my spinning. And if you haven't gotten it yet, don't look. So this is my first shipment of the Into the World Fiber Club, and I'm in the Luxe Club because I love silk, except when it's just silk. So I picked up the Luxe Club. So it's called Sterrenacht, and I guess it's Dutch for Starry Night, which the inspiration for this colorway was Van Gogh's Starry Night. So you could definitely see the inspiration being that with the blue and the gold. And there's some light like aqua, but it's absolutely, I gotta smell, oh, it smells, oh, like alpaca. So it is 50% alpaca, 30% merino, and 20% silk. Don't know what that's going to be just yet. Gotta think about that one. Alright, so that's what I have for spinning. Alright, so the last little bit for today will be the sewing. And I have been sewing. You guys are awesome. And I've been practicing some things. So first let me show you kind of a new addition to the line, or the options you have for the bag. So I talked before about adding a wrist strap as an option. So you now have a coordinating wrist strap. So this is the lining fabric for the bag, and obviously this is the outside fabric for the bag. So you have a wrist strap. So you can pull your project out of the top of the zipper here, keeping your yarn down at the bottom. You can knit and then stuff it back in the bag. So that is one addition. The second is I can do pockets. On the outside, I put a pocket. And this is also in a different coordinating fabric from the same line. So it does need a little bit extra, but if I have the extra, I will make the outside pocket also an option if you would like it. So the pocket will be available on, well, the pocket and the wrist straps are only available on the zippered bag because it doesn't, I don't really see the room or the necessity for a wrist strap when you've got the pull strings, because these you can just put over your, so yeah. And then with the pull string too, the pocket would be in an awkward spot because the zipper would go right where the pull strings are. So the two new options are the outside zip for the zipper bag and the wrist strap. So new options, yay. So I do have an update coming up on Friday, the 25th. I was able to score some more of the retro Spock. I'll have that available. Still have some Valentine's Day stuff available. I may have some additional nerdy goodness to put up. You never know. But one thing I did practice making, and I wanted to show you guys, were cases for iPads or, note tablets and whatever. So this was my first go at it, and you can see it's the hot pink on the inside and like this peacocky blue and gold on the outside. And the problem is I didn't measure my tablet well enough, because it just barely fits in here when it is just the tablet. And it doesn't really zip up very well. I have to be careful because I don't want to get it stuck in there. So that's only, if I had cut it out just a little bit wider, if I had accounted for the depth, which I didn't do. So that was my first try, and I really like it, so I'll probably make another go of this one. but one that fits properly. So what I did do is I made a case with a flap. So, and this one does fit nicely. The original pattern called for Velcro. I didn't have any Velcro, so I have a button. So I recycled this button from a project that I knit that ended up getting felted by accident from my husband. So that's good that I was able to repurpose those buttons. So I may actually have cases and pouches in the near future. That would be an option if you wanted to pick that instead of the drawstring bag or the zipper bag. If you want a case for your tablet, yeah, I could do those now too. So I'm going to make those options available to you as well. All right, well, it's been a long time and I've talked enough and I gotta get dinner ready and my husband's laundry is on hold, so I need to get going. I hope you guys had a great inauguration and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Oh, Dr. King. So we're supposed to get snow on Friday again. I don't even talk about the weather around here. I love it. It's cold. I can bundle up in my hand knits all day long. The folks in my office are all complaining, oh, it's so cold. First of all, it's only Virginia. We're in the 20s. I don't know, Megan of the Stockinette Zombies went running today and she had like tear eyeball things crusted on her eyelashes because it's like below zero in Minnesota. Okay, she's running in below zero weather, and here it's only in the 20s. Don't complain. Put on a sweater. See, I knit. This is why I knit, because I love it to be cold, and when I get too cold, I put on more clothes, because you can only take so much off when you get too warm. So, on that note, I hope everybody has a great week. Don't forget to vote as many times as you want. I would love it, love it, love it. So it's been great being back. I hope you guys enjoy. If you're new, please come back. Please join the group and have a great week. Bye.